couple of days ago, Nintendo announced the newest member of the 3DS family, the Nintendo 2DS. Notably, it's not a clamshell, and it also lacks a 3D screen, allowing this to be more of an entry-level model. Let's take a look at what the hardware is like. Though a few corners have clearly been cut with the design and capabilities, it's actually quite nice to hold in your hands. The buttons are all well within reach. I can get to the touchscreen no problem with my thumbs, though at the same time I do think that for smaller hands this might be slightly tricky to reach that far down and out of the way. What's quite interesting about it is that it's actually one single screen behind the front panel, and this is then just divided and you've got the touch sensor at the bottom half. It's an interesting solution and part of how they've managed to save a few pennies. The bottom edge sees the sleep slider so that you can put it into a mode where it will still collect street passes. The left hand edge then has the volume slider, which is hooked up to just a mono speaker. On the right hand side you have the SD card slot, and of course you need your stylus to fit nicely into the back of the machine. The top edge is the thickest part, and here you have two really quite nice triggers actually. They sit quite nicely under your fingers and they're a decent concave shape. You also have a bundled power adapter, which is quite handy considering that we didn't get one with the 3DS XL. And the top edge also is where your game cartridges go. But how does this all stack up against the other models in the range? Now you can instantly see that this is not going to fit into your back pocket, but as soon as you open up the 3DS and the 3DS XL, you can actually see the true size of it. It's roughly equivalent to the 3DS, but it's absolutely dwarfed by the XL. It actually shares the same screen size and so pixel density as the 3DS, the original one, and so if you found that one quite small, then you will also feel that the 2DS is quite small in relation to, say, the PS Vita or the XL. It does have a slightly better battery life, which might get you about half an hour extra gameplay time over the original 3DS. But aside from that, there aren't really any other improvements. However, the lack of 3D will also affect certain games where they've designed specifically for this effect. Super Mario 3D Land, for example, has puzzles which specifically hone in and target the effect and the use of the slider to gain perspective and be able to better interpret the world. So that kind of gameplay is going to struggle without the 3D screen. The 2DS is set to hit the shelves alongside Pokemon X and Y on October the 12th. As with all of Nintendo's machines in the UK, there's no recommended retail price, but Game has listed the 2DS at £109.99p, with the practically essential carrying case a further £9.99. But when you then have a 3DS for 135 quid or the XL with Mario Kart bundled for 170 quid, it almost feels like a false economy. But at the same time, though this won't appeal to many people and is a clear downgrade in many aspects, it gives Nintendo a more child-friendly and bashable console, and it also gives them the psychological price point which will get people through the doors. And it doesn't hurt that I actually feel it's quite a nice bit of kit to hold and play around with. I hope you've enjoyed our little hands-on video with the 2DS, and feel free to chip in with your thoughts on the console down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.